Alrighty, I think I'm live here. Get some light adjustments. Oh yeah, there we go. All right, we've got the pink sparkly jacket on here today. So today I just want to talk about a few things. Got some updates on how to get some loan money and the loan forbearance programs. Some updates with Brian Chesky and what he's doing for Airbnb hosts, as well as Governor Abbott's GA14 overruling the individual counties, kind of making a statewide policy for essential services. So, and then an update on the Austin FC season tickets. So that kind of work way through it to where the least important stuff or the most specific stuff is kind of at the end. And then I'll leave the real estate stuff kind of at the end as far as market activity and what I'm seeing. But there's some weird opportunities that I was not expecting that are starting to take shape in the Austin market anyway. So let's get started. Hey, Jake. Hey, Dan. John, thanks for joining. Anyway, so I wanted to go over, Governor Abbott announced last night or yesterday, GA14, which I'm excited about. And a lot of other entities should be, especially if you're providing a service that you think is essential, like real estate. I obviously would believe real estate would be essential business since it's like 14% of our GDP. That's kind of big. So I think, that's definitely a positive note. But the announcement, GA14, overrules the other counties, their specific announcements. So for instance, like in Travis County, real estate was not deemed essential service. Some construction stuff was not deemed essential. Some major commercial buildings and stuff like that, not essential, but yet there was essential in Travis County and Williamson County. And properties that we had in Austin that were in Hayes County, we're going by the rules that the county, whichever had the lightest rules that restricted us. So now the statewide stuff includes, and I'm going to include all the links to all the documents and stuff like that in the post after I'm done. But healthcare and public health, law enforcement, public safety, first responders, food and agriculture, energy, if you're in energy, water, wastewater, transportation, logistics, communication and information technology services, other community-based operations and essential functions, which that's where real estate falls into, critical manufacturing, and hazardous materials workers. Those are essential financial services, defense, industrial base services, commercial facilities services. Those are now essential, and hygiene products and services, not necessarily like haircut kind of esthetician type services, but producing hygiene products is also. Suzanne, yeah, right. Got Kevin and Jay Purcell. So this is what they said on that order. And I'm reading this right here. This executive order shall supersede any conflicting order issued by local officials in response to the COVID-19 disaster, but only to the extent that such a local order restricts essential services allowed by this executive order or allows gatherings prohibited by this executive order. So this order is for the state. It overrules everything else. And so the real estate community is excited. The commercial building community and construction, they're excited. And I'm sure your business or whatever business that you're in, you probably already have this information about what it means to you. So next thing, and this is important to me, I've been paying attention to Airbnb And a lot of people have had reservations been canceled, and hosts are upset because they took our money, and we're relying on that for mortgages. And guests, some guests were upset because their reservations didn't get refunded. And so what's going on there is Brian Chesky came out on Monday evening and said that they're understanding now, with all the feedback, that the pain that the hosts are in. So they're doing 4 things to help hosts to offer, and as well as offer full refunds, including fees and stuff, for those guests that have booked prior to March 14th. So you had to book it before March 14th. And the dates have to be between March 14th and now, extending through June 1st. So if you have an Airbnb reservation that you haven't gotten settled yet, you now can file through extenuating circumstances and get a full refund. Now, before, the hosts were really, really upset because, they had, we have strict cancellation policy on ours because we needed to kind of pay the mortgage for for what we built. And, these 3, March, April, May, are spring months. So those are huge months in the United States, especially for the southern states. And so they were taking away all the money from us, even if we had strict cancellation policies, and, kind of leaving it empty-handed. So everyone kind of wrote letters and said, hey, what are you guys doing? You're supposed to be on our side. And went after corporate Airbnb. So they came out and said what they're doing for hosts now. They've got a $250 million fund that they've issued that's going to have cover hosts 25% of the cancellation fee of what their current cancellation policy would have been. So, for instance, what that means, if you have an Airbnb and you say you have a strict cancellation policy, and in that policy, if somebody cancels with outside of a 14-day window, so 2 weeks prior, then with the strict cancellation policy, you would normally get half of what you would have normally gotten. So let's say the booking, somebody paid like $950, and the host actually gets $800, and they cancel. The normal refund that the host would get to keep would be $400. So now they're letting us get 25% of that. So for an $800 booking, we would get $100, and that is retroactive, and that's also worldwide. So the $250 million fund to cover that, and then they have also number 2 beginning today, April 1st, starting in April, super hosts. If you're a super host, you can get up to a $5,000 grant, not a loan, a grant from a $10 million superhost fund that they have set up. They've gotten $1 million, I think, of donations and other corporations, and then the CEOs and the corporate, the guys that are making millions and millions of dollars, they put in another $9 million for this superhost fund that will give up to $5,000 grant money. So I'm not sure on exactly that qualification. I haven't applied for that yet, but I definitely plan on it. So if you're an Airbnb host, I will let you know. I'll put it in the description here or the comment. Another thing they are doing, guests are able to donate to their hosts if they choose. So apparently letters have gone out, or they will be going out to Airbnb guests if they've stayed in an Airbnb. They have the option to donate to specific Airbnbs that they have stayed in if they want to contribute. So I guess a lot of people reached out and said, we want to help the Airbnb community and our hosts. We had such a good time. How can we help? So they set this up for that kind of situation, to give money back to the superhosts that they enjoyed, that made their stay phenomenal, or went out of their way to help them, or whatever they did, that the guest feels like they want to donate. So that is available. And the number 4, the Airbnb is saying that they are fighting for us on Capitol Hill, meaning that Airbnb individuals that have properties that are not businesses. They might be businesses, but they're not. They don't have a federal EIN, or they're not an LLC or an S corp or something like that. There's just somebody's second home that they're renting out, and it's their business. They now can apply for small business association loans. So they can apply for everything that a small business can. And then let the government sort it out. So that is another huge thing. So the SBA stuff. I posted this a couple days ago in my Instagram, but a few days ago I got a letter from my accountant, and she said file for this now. Individuals can, small businesses can, and it's a $10,000 emergency government fund for small businesses, and it's pretty simple to fill out. You just fill out. I think there's 4 steps with some information. If you have a kind of what is your business, individual, sole proprietorship, LLC, S corp, 500 or more employees, 500 or less employees, that type of thing, and then you go on to a little bit more specific. That kind of stuff. And then at the end, on the 4th page, I think it asks for your account information. And apparently this money is supposed to be deposited into your account, your business account, or whatever account you're providing, within 3 days of approval. So that's the information that my accountant has passed along. I applied for it 2 days ago. So hopefully we'll get some money in there. And I'm applying for a Airbnb as an individual. So if you have been hurt financially and you can prove it and you need the money, this money is available for disasters, because the checks the government are mailing out, the tax return discounts, and all these other loan programs are not necessarily going to be readily in your hands within the next week, but this money is supposed to be for those who are hurting the most. So all right, Kobe, Shane McClaskey, all right, she's a great cleaner. If you're in Austin, Clean and Green, Shane McClaskey, highly recommend. Anyway, so that is what they're doing for hosts, and now for the mortgage forbearance stuff. So everyone probably already knows this. And I've got clients that, hopefully they're watching, and I'll pass this information along. I'll put the links in there. I filed for this today for a few of my mortgages, and I'm going to tell you what I was looking at and the differences between the mortgage companies. Now, I don't know what all the mortgage companies are doing, but there was some significant differences from what Wells Fargo had available and from what United Wholesale Mortgage had. So, for instance, we've got a property that's, we're looking for Wells Fargo is the mortgage servicing company, and we went right into the Wells Fargo mortgage, and we clicked on. I clicked on the mortgage, account. Where you would look at your statements and stuff, and right there in front it says COVID-19 help. Click that button, and it asks you a couple of questions. If you can pay your mortgage, and have you been severely impacted by COVID-19, and then you kind of click submit, and that was as simple as you needed. And so they're following, the Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac stuff. They seem to have the guidelines, pretty well in hand, and from my understanding is some of those mortgage payments are going to be posted onto the back of the loan. That's kind of, and they didn't say any of that on the website. They're very vague on the websites. And then Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac on their websites, you can look up if your loan is backed by Fannie and Freddie or Freddie, and I'll post those links on how to find that. And then United Wholesale Mortgage was a different story. My loan, I checked on that loan, and it is backed by Freddie Mac. And I went and I had to click through a bunch of different documents, and I've got the PDFs for those that I'll share the link to. on what that looks like. But they are still saying that they're going to be up until further notice. They're operating under the forbearance plan that they have always had in place. So right when this thing hit, before they even announced forbearance programs from the government, I went on there and I checked it out. And what they had said at that point was still what they have in their website. Now it's just labeled under COVID-19, and it's still the same program, which is kind of crap, bullshit, really. And I think that's going to change. But until then, they don't want everyone jumping on it and saying, hey, if I don't have to pay my mortgage, I'm not going to, kind of thing, I guess. So I called them as well. And when I called them, they, they kind of said, well, we don't really know. We're working with the changes, and right now, this is the plan. So it was very, blasé kind of crap, and I anticipate this to change because the big guys, the Bank of Americas and those guys, and I know UFCU Rohan is one of my great lenders is on here, and he can. I'll probably give him a call after this and find out what they're doing. But so what they are doing at United Wholesale Mortgage is, say you have $1,000 mortgage payment, and you're going to miss it for April, May, and June. Well, then in July, then you're going to have a $4,000 mortgage payment due. So it's just pushing all the money to the next month after it's done. So that's kind of crap, because if you don't have the money to pay it now, why do they think they're going to have all of a sudden you're going to have $4,000 in July to pay it? So that was what they had in place, and I anticipate that to change. But another click-through deal that you go through, it's pretty simple. You say, yes, I was affected. Yes, I'm being hit hard with financial, and yes, maybe I'm current on my mortgage, and I would like to apply for the forbearance program. And then that's when I called them. I'm like, well, I got to make sure this is right and find out if they're going to be changing this. So that's when they were yeah, we don't know yet. We're going to keep you updated. We can't say we're going to change it because no one's told us. And the call volume was so high that, it took forever to get through, and no supervisors were available, of course, to field any additional questions. So that's the difference between Wells Fargo and United Wholesale Mortgage. And another thing I wanted to add is the for your service industry folks. Guy Ferrari is partnering with the National Restaurant Association. They are sending out a $500 check to restaurant and service owners. Service business people. It's called the Restaurant Relief America. It was announced in a press release today by the National Restaurant Association Educational Foundation, NRAEF. And according to the group site, that I'm reading this right here, we work for you and your business at Capitol Hill, City Hall, and your State House. We represent the industry's interest on the legislative and regulatory issues that matter to your bottom line. So their goal is to, and then they've got, I don't have it written down. I want to say it's like $100 million fund. And don't quote me on that, but look it up. I will post the link for that. I think it's, I can't remember, but it's, it'll post that, and you get $500 for service industry workers, and I'll have the details. The Austin FC. So I talked to Austin FC. Austin's getting a soccer team. They're building a stadium, and they've been doing, they had their, if you want to get season tickets, you put in your money a long time ago, I think like last summer, and then according to that, when you put your money in is when you can elect to get the seat. So that's when they'll contact you for the seat release. So they already have almost finished the club seats. So if you wanted to get East Club or West Club or one of those sections, they have 2 sections in the West Club section left, and the price points on those for the season, now they ranged from like $4,000 all the way to $6,000. I think was the highest that I actually saw with my own eyes. But the 2 they have left are in the West Club area, and it's one's for 5,500 and one and for a seat, and 5,000 for a seat, and that's expected to have about 20 games. So you can do the math on that. But these are club level seats, which are going to be really nice. Those are the kind of the nicest premium seats. Next, the sale, which I'm looking forward to because these are the seats that I was wanting to get. And you can look online. I'll post the link to that. But the pictures for the premium terrace seats, which is basically like a platform with tables, and you get in the section. If you get it with your friends, they've got a bar there. It's you can look at the pitch. It's center court, and you don't have to wait. You don't have seats, and you get all your drinks and stuff. And I'm hoping they haven't released those prices yet, but those are the next to come out, and that's going to be. I don't know for sure, but I'm anticipating probably, depending on where you're at on the field, on the pitch, is going to be the price points. I'm hoping between $2,000 and $2,500. That makes it out to be about $100 a game. So those will easily be able to be resold. $100 a match for that. I think I would pay that all day long for those seats, and the stadium looks amazing. Last little section is the market activity that I was surprisingly shocked by. Was I went through the MLS, and I was just anticipating a decline in activity due to all of this staying at home. We couldn't show properties. We weren't supposed to anyway. And what I found was, and this is against I select dates on weekends and during the week, March versus February. So this isn't like March versus last March. This is March versus February of this year, just to see how that was going. And what I found is most of the comparable dates, there was at least the same amount of pending transactions or more pending transactions during the lockdown than there was prior to the lockdown, when the market was heating up in February, which was very interesting. I was expecting like a 20% decline or something like that, but in some areas it was a 10% increase on pending transactions. That's homes that have went under contract. That means people are buying homes and putting contracts in on them without going inside them. So this, that's what's happening, and so I started looking a little deeper, and what I'm starting to see, and this is all I've been doing is basically making videos and doing research and talking to people, and the people I've talked to, I've got several clients that are in positions where they've got their homes priced. Maybe they just bought a bigger home and they've got a vacant home, and it's priced at market value. They've had a income reduction due to their company, and maybe they've let some employees go. Anyway, so they've got a home that's vacant. They're making less money. They just bought a new home, and even though it's market value home, there's people out there that are going to have to take a little bit below market value. And so because of the last recession, I know that there are so many investors and people out there that were anticipating another big recession, that there's a lot of money on the sidelines waiting to jump into the market and pick up hot deals when something like this happened. So those investors are watching, the MLS and properties. Say you pick a neighborhood and that fits what you're looking to do, and all of a sudden, there's a homeowner in there that someone called me. So anyway, a homeowner that's in distress, and so that homeowner drops their price in their home. Boom! Somebody looks at it online, puts a contract in it, and then starts negotiating. And maybe they back out, maybe they don't. But that's the name of the game, folks. If you want to get some of the hot deals that are going to be coming on next month, people are going to have to sell the property if they have it on the market. There's so many people that don't have their homes on the market because they don't have to sell, that had their homes on the market. The ones that are on the market, a lot of them have to sell. And when they start dropping their prices, people that are out there saying, I want to buy something, but I'm going to wait till this passes. The investors out there with the money, they're not even looking at the houses. They're not even going inside. They're just putting contracts on them, and then they can kind of negotiate. So a contract is just an opportunity to conversate about the purchase. You're not locked into anything. You have option period, you have financing period, you have all of that. So investors are watching homes online saying, oh, boom, price per square foot's 135. This one just went to 120. Virtual tour, click, click, click. Yeah, I like it. Boom, make an offer, under contract. Now let's take our time and negotiate and figure that out. And meanwhile, other people are sitting on the sidelines like, oh, I'm going to wait. It's a big situation. I want to find out what's happening. So lots of properties are going under contract and people aren't even looking at them. So if you're in a position where you are looking to buy something and you have the money and you know you're qualified and you know that you're solid on the lending side, then, here's some opportunities that other people are taking that are available. And if you're interested, I can set you up on any kind of search in the neighborhood and just say, hey, boom, as soon as it sits under $135 a foot or $100 or $200 a foot, put a contract on. We can negotiate it. If you want to drop out, whatever, that's fine. But getting those awesome deals under contract is happening now. So anyway, just wanted to kind of share that information with y'all. Hope everything is good on your end. And I would love to be able to promote some people's businesses. I'm doing one of these Facebook Lives every week. So if you have a product or service that you are wanting to promote, like if you're a restaurant, you have gift cards, or if something like that, I would love to be able to help anyone out. So you can text me or DM me or whatever it is, social media, PM, DM me on that. And I'm happy to, if you're going to people's houses and giving massages, even though you're not supposed to, I don't know, whatever thing you want to offer that will help you. And so I guess someone just tried to call me again. Okie dokie. I will talk to you later, and hopefully this wasn't too long. I can't even see the time. I will see you guys next Wednesday, and tomorrow my monthly market update email comes out. I have all these links in it, and then I just released an Instagram channel that I was just making for myself to keep myself updated once a week on things I was thinking about, but I just said, screw it. I'm going to put it out there. So some of that stuff is super boring, but it's like mindset stuff that I was thinking about over the last month, and every week I've been doing one. But if you're interested and it helps you, get in a different mindset, then check it out at Ask Mike Koss is Instagram, and it's I've got whiteboards with like colored shit written on it. So that's kind of what I got for today. I will keep you posted on everything and post all the links I talked about here. And then, keep giving that government money, man. Keep going after it. Friday is the day that a lot of accountants get clarity on a lot of this fund, these access to these funds and what they mean. A lot of accountants don't even know how to quantify it yet. But Friday, they're supposed to be getting these massive updates from the government. So a lot of that will be coming out this week. So, all right, I will talk to you guys. Wave. Oh, yeah, I can actually, I don't know if that works. All right, bye, guys.